Morning. Welcome to the Profit Lab podcast. I hope you guys always enjoy the lively music that I play every time we are live. I am your host, Marie Torossian, certified 10X coach, CFO, and an auditor, certified public accountant, and a chartered global management accountant. I serve the entrepreneurial community through my CPA firm, Marie Torossian CPA, and the management consulting company that I have, the Profit Lab. The Profit Lab podcast serves to expand our mission to empower entrepreneurs by bringing their stories to the masses. We are thrilled to tell your story, to inspire, empower, and uplift other entrepreneurs. Check out our website, theprofitlab.biz/podcast, for the audio version of everything that we do live here. We launched the podcast back in August 2nd, where I spoke about my personal journey and entrepreneurial journey and everything that I learned so far on that journey. And I plan to invite entrepreneurs from all walks of life to the show every week. So if you want to be a guest on the show, please make sure to request to join in at support@theprofitlab.biz. Today, October 25th, is our 12th episode, and we are going live on Facebook at the Profit Lab Biz, on LinkedIn, Marie Torossian CPA CGMA, and my YouTube channel, Marie Torossian CPA. So please make sure to subscribe, follow, like, and share us on all these platforms so that other entrepreneurs can learn from our guests. My guest today is born in Casablanca, Morocco. His name is Eric Malka. He's a serial entrepreneur, brand builder, investor, and published author with more than 25 years experience in branded consumer packaged goods. As co-founder and former CEO of the Art of Shaving, he's a pioneer of the luxury men's grooming industry, leading the company from startup to international expansion. It's amazing, guys. I'm so excited about this. In 2009, the Art of Shaving was acquired by Gillette, Procter & Gamble, and Eric was tapped by P&G to continue his role as CEO through the end of 2010. In 2014, he established Strategic Brand Investments, a private equity fund specialized in helping local entrepreneurs develop their brand and grow their business. Ingredients is his latest endeavor, which combines Eric's passion for natural health and his extensive business background to empower everyone to lead a toxic-free lifestyle in pursuit of optimal wellness. With that, Eric, welcome to the Profit Lab podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for the intro. Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited. I believe so far you're one of those guests that has achieved the most. So I'm like super excited. There's so much I need to learn from you.
All right, so you get a long ways to go after me.
I got a long way to go. So Eric, I always start my conversation with my guests because as a slightly personal note, like we want to get to know you, Eric. How did you start? Where did you start? How did you come about? Who are you as Eric Malka, the person?
Well, I'm a scrappy entrepreneur. That's what I am. Took a Greyhound bus to New York City when I was barely 18 with $100 in my pocket and American dream in my mind. So
yes,
what you see is what you get. I'm an immigrant, an entrepreneur, a dad, husband. That's what I identify with as far as terminology.
Yeah, I mean that's I know from the time I met you, there's like so much we had in common because I left my country the same way, right? I left Lebanon, with literally nothing. I think I had a little bit more money than you at the time. I don't know. My grandma gave me a little bit more money. So I went to Montreal and then, came to
funny. I forgot about
Miami. But yeah, I mean, that's it's something about those of us coming from another country. We have this such big dream. And but the idea is that to stay focused on that dream. Would you agree?
Yeah, for me, there was no other options. My family fell into financial hardship when I was in my mid-teens, and I decided I did not like this new life with being broke.
Yes.
So, so that kind of, you know, how life situation put you on a path. And that's when I decided I was going to make it. I
Yes.
wasn't going to, you know, go down that path. I was going to go find a better solution. And
Absolutely.
America next door seemed to be the place that had more opportunities at the time than, you know,
Yeah.
Montreal.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think if I didn't move down here for and then I met my husband actually, and that's how I moved down. But I if I was somewhere else, I don't know if I would have had the same opportunities. So I totally feel you.
I get it. Some some people make it up there. I've seen some very successful people up there, but it just didn't fit with my. Well, first of all, this kind of cold is inhuman. You know, it's like even if it was like a gold rush, I would have left. I would have gone the other way.
Too cold, too cold, very
That's a
cold.
deal breaker. You know, when you
Yeah.
talk about deal breakers, that one term just ruins the whole thing.
That's awesome. No, I totally get it. I lived there for 3 years and it was struggle every day, every single day, especially like if you don't have a car and all that. So it's kind of difficult.
And coming from Morocco or Lebanon, beautiful, you know, warm
Warmer,
climates. It's like, whoa.
hard. Yeah, definitely. So Eric, what was one of the major impacts in your life? It could be a person, it could be, I mean, you kind of mentioned the financial distress your family went through that kind of prompted you to be this entrepreneur. Anything else that comes to mind when we talk about something or someone impacting your life that makes you who you are?
Yeah, sure. Listen, I've been extremely lucky. I've had a lot of extraordinary people in my path. You know, my wife is my partner in business, and I think that when we met at a very young age, we both share very similar values,
Hmm.
and we had very complementary talents. So together, you know, we built something that I think by ourselves we wouldn't have achieved to that extent. So she was
Yeah,
a huge, you know, inflection point in my career, in my life. You know, we built many things together. There's been
that's
so many examples, but she's probably top of the list.
yes, of course. And I did meet
She's
her briefly.
listening. That's why I'm saying that she's listening. No, I'm just kidding. It's the truth. It's the truth.
No, I did meet her for I mean briefly. So I mean she's a wonderful lady, and I've read about her as well, and you guys, you mentioned that in every place. So I know I can tell that she's a very important individual, not just as a business partner. It's part of your life too. So
Sure.
I love that. I love that. I wish all men get to say that.
She's like my wife.
Oh goodness. So tell us a little bit. I mean, you started the art of shaving, and the art of shaving is so huge, and it went international. Is that so? How do you go as an entrepreneur just starting out? I just started out too. I'm nowhere near where I want to be. But how do you go from, let's say, just being, let's say that just entrepreneur starting out a business someplace in a specific location with maybe a specific idea in your mind, and then you just grow internationally? How do you go from thinking that's say, not small per se, but like in that little individualized section to thinking so huge, it's like we're going international? That's a big area.
Well, it is, and I've thought about this a lot over the years. Actually, I've always had huge visions for myself, huge ambitions, and those
Hmm.
were crippling. At first, they were crippling to
Mm.
have such a humongous ambition and being broke and young and inexperienced. You know, there was a little bit of a gap, and it's I think my breakthrough, and I had built multiple small businesses before the art of shaving.
Okay.
Some were successful, some were not, but the breakthrough for me was to start small while thinking
Mm.
big. You know,
Understood.
I couldn't have started smaller than the art of shaving, selling my car out of our kitchen, open a store and the business with $12,000 is as small as it gets, especially in Manhattan. So, I would say start small, think huge. That was
Yeah.
my, and once we validated the business, once we realized this had potential, it was just a matter of scaling, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
hardest part is to find something viable, figure out the business model, and then you just have to figure out how to get from point A to point B, whatever that point B is in your mind. So
Right.
scale fast, scale big, whatever you want.
Right.
Scale slow, scale slow, keep it small. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody's obsessed with like becoming the next Amazon, but there's some beautiful merit in creating a small, precious family enterprise.
Absolutely.
So my ambitions were much bigger than that, and I started realizing soon after starting the business. I was only 28 and my wife was 22 when we started the business, so we were kind of like, we had no idea what we were doing, which was the greatest blessing on earth, right? When you have good instincts and no experience, you can do some really cool, innovative stuff. So yeah, I think that's how we scaled. And then we were very lucky. I mean, lucky. Within I think 18 months, we were generating almost $1 million in profit with our 2 stores.
Amazing.
That was like free cash flow that fueled
Yes.
our growth. We
Yes.
didn't need banks. We didn't need investors. We had $1 million dropping on our lap every fourth quarter.
Wow.
For 12 years. So that fueled everything we wanted to finance over the course of that company's life. And towards the end, when we really needed rocket fuel, we raised capital. But by then, we had achieved some pretty nice valuations.
Yes. With mentioning valuations, you kind of, you made me think through another question. So, I mean, you have been at this point on both sides. Like you have been the business owner that had to scale and then, build value in your business. And then you also are an investor because you are looking at value in other businesses, right? So what are the key things that you would say are super, super important that entrepreneurs should be aware as early as possible?
Well, first of all, I'm also in the third camp, which is now I'm the investor and the entrepreneur. I'm investing,
right.
I'm like,
yes,
I'm
you're
wearing
right.
both hats on ingredients. I'm like, I don't know what I'm like fighting with myself. So you want to know what they should do to raise capital, or
in general, like how their mindset should be maybe entering into the business, because I feel like whenever I'm talking to certain entrepreneurs, like they're not even thinking about their exit strategy or what the value of their business is going to be, what they can do internally, or the assistance they should get to make sure they're set up well for a good valuation. So what have you seen, and you can kind of help them to think about?
Well, if the intention is to, I mean, I have mixed feelings about this. A lot of entrepreneurs think about their exit before they start generating revenue. I think that's a little premature, but an exit strategy is something you plan and you prepare for.
Absolutely.
And I actually present to entrepreneurs on the difference between building a company and building a brand. The valuation of a brand is much different than the valuation. Take Tesla, right? Tesla is valued at 40 billion market cap, and they sell 10% of what GM Motors sell in cars. So companies, you can build a beautiful company that's profitable. It's going to be traded on EBITDA. But if you build a brand, if you really build a strong brand for yourself that has brand equity, I mean, now you can trade in multiples of sales. My company, The Art of Shaving, was actually negative EBITDA when we sold. We sold on the multiples of revenue because it was a recognizable consumer branded luxury product that consumers desired and admired and trusted. So that has tremendous value. So understanding the levers, I would say, the levers that cause the valuation, so that you can develop your business with those levers in mind, whether they are customer acquisitions, data, profitability. Everybody has something to sell within their business, right? Something that the acquirer feels is of value to them strategically.
Absolutely.
So understanding the levers that impact your valuation, I think, is important right off the bat.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, and you made a great differentiation between the brand, equity, and then just the company and the financials. It's very, very, I love that you said that. It really helps, I think, entrepreneurs get their mindset right as they're planning and going into it. Because right now it seems like
Yeah.
every day, there's every corner there's an entrepreneur selling something on eBay, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
No.
building a business that didn't exist and a need that wasn't
That's right.
there, but then suddenly this product is there that now everybody wants and everybody recognizes. It's a very
I'll
different.
tell you, I've talked 3 entrepreneurs in the last few years out of
Mhm.
selling their business. Because when you build a great company and you're creating cash flow, nobody's going to pay you for that cash flow enough money.
Right.
Whereas in a place like a brand that you're growing aggressively, in my case, I was losing a
Right.
couple of $1 million a year, and I was handed, a big check. So
Right.
that's a no-brainer. But when they give you 5 or 6 times EBITDA, I mean, keep the EBITDA all day long.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Unless you're 80 years old and you want to retire,
You're just
but,
gonna
and your kids are, losers.
This is great, very interesting conversation that I'm having with you, because you're making me think of different questions that I don't get to ask other entrepreneurs that I've actually interviewed. You mentioned about keeping the EBITDA if it's only 5 times, and then you mentioned something about if you're older than yourself. So there's this right now a lot of transfer of wealth that everybody's talking about. There's going to be trillions that are being transferred over because a lot of baby boomers will be retiring. Where do you see opportunities, let's say, for a maybe younger, person that is, wants to be an entrepreneur, but, what do you say would be a great way to kind of start off a little bit maybe easier than starting fresh from nothing?
Know what you want, know why you want it, and be prepared to get uncomfortable to get it.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable.
Yes.
And if it's uncomfortable because life makes you really commit to what you want. You really want this? You really want this? Life is gonna challenge you. It's like, okay, it's not that easy. Are you sure you want this? Go get a job. Go work for Fortune 500 company. You sure you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to, do what you think? It's not that simple. Get uncomfortable.
Right.
So I would say make sure you're doing it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you are clear about what you want. It's all about what we want. That's the freedom. When we talk about freedom, it's the freedom to choose what we want. I want to be the next Jeff Bezos. I want to have a small mom and pop business. I want to work for a company that takes care of me until retirement. There's no judgment.
Right.
Just figure out what you want. And if you figure out what you want, figure out how to get it.
Yes. Yes. Which is
It's very simple.
Yeah, it's great that you kind of simplify things to just like right to the point, and this is going to be super helpful for those of us listening. I'm going to quickly go through, just we have a moment now. I just want to read out for those of the audience that are just listening, because they won't be able to see the banner. I want to put the banners up. This is for the strategicbrandinvestments.com. This is the website for your investment company. So guys, that's strategicbrandinvestments.com. For the second company, the website is ingredientswellness.com. So just to make sure that those of the audience that are listening, they'll be able to have access and be able to check out your websites
Thank you.
on both businesses. And also, guys, you can follow Ingredients Wellness hashtag on Instagram, and you can also, call or email info@ingredientswellness.com. So with that, we can continue our conversation. Um, so, um, so you sold the company already, and then you moved on. So you started Ingredients because one thing you said in your bio was, you really wanted people to live a toxic-free life, and that's what I met you, a couple of years ago when you were just starting out. And tell us a little bit more about how you came about with that idea, and what are some of the challenges of trying to get great ingredients when every other cosmetic or any other brand out there is just like God knows what's in there, and you're trying to stand out as a non-toxic.
I mean, the ingredients is really an evolution of our journey for 25 years. I mean, we've been cleaning up our formulas over time. And when we left the art of shaving, we knew what our next brand would be. It would be a brand that was the purest brand with the highest quality ingredients from all over the world, that would reduce toxicity to a minimal and bring ingredients to the forefront of the conversation for the brand. Yeah. As we started working on the business, we started realizing that this is much more than just cosmetics. This is about the human race and our planet. This is about saving our environment and really helping consumers avoid pitfalls of health through toxicity.
Yes.
Now, the conversation that we're having at Ingredients with our consumers is not being had by many other in the world, basically. First of all, if we're going to talk about the environment, we need to talk about human health. Those two subjects are inextricably linked. You can't fix one without the other, because 92% of the problem comes from fossil fuel, comes from petroleum. And when I start telling people, like, Mary, do you know that 99% of pharmaceutical drugs and over-the-counter drugs are made with petrol?
No, that would really scare me. Yes.
Well,
I did not know that.
Yeah, they are. Every 99% of drugs, cough syrups, tablets, goodness. They're made from fossil fuels. They're made from petroleum, petrochemicals, basically.
Wow.
People don't know this, but this is very common. This is hiding in plain sight. And cosmetics is a huge burden on the toxic load for women and men and children, because there's about 10,000 unregulated petrochemical ingredients, synthetic chemicals, that are being sold to women and men and children in shampoos, makeup, perfumes.
Wow.
All these are petrochemicals, and it is a huge issue. It's going to be, I think, in 20 years what tobacco was in the 1990s. And that's why I do what I do, is to bring awareness to this subject that so few people. I mean, yoga pants, petrochemicals; carpet, petrochemicals;
wow.
Cleaning fluids, detergents, paint, building materials, plastics, obviously, water supply, pools, pesticides, foods, drinks, colorants, all these. What people don't realize is that if it doesn't come from nature, it comes from fossil fuels. There's only two sources. And we're being intoxicated inside our homes, outside our homes, and it bioaccumulates. That's why, under 10 years old, you have almost no cancer. Under 25 years old, you have 4 out of 100,000 that have cancer. You get to 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, it goes exponential, because its toxic load accumulates over the course of a lifetime. You don't put lipstick and get breast cancer. It doesn't happen like that. You just 400 chemicals come into contact daily in small, tiny doses over 20 years. Now, if you live next to a chemical plant, it might take 10 years for you and your family to get sick. But if you're
Right.
just putting lipstick and perfume and hair dye and this and that over 20, 30 years, it can cause some major, major health problems. And we're living it, right?
Yes.
Asthma is through
Yes.
the roof, cancer is through the roof.
Oh, yeah.
Fertility issues are through the roof.
Yes. Yes.
Neurological issues are through the roof. Where's that coming from? And we know that these ingredients are carcinogens, but we're being told in small dosage, not a threat. And
Right.
they haven't been, I'm going off on a tangent. I can speak for hours about this and scare the entire world. They're going to go crawl into their closet and suck their thumb for a few hours after they listen to me. But that's why I do what I do. We've created the cleanest personal care products in the marketplace so that consumers don't have to compromise between quality and also we bring ingredients from Lebanon, for example. We bring ingredients from we bring neroli water from Morocco, plant water, hydrosol.
Wow.
Instead of diluting our products with, like, our cleanser is, instead of being 80% water like the rest of the industry, it's 80% neroli plant water, which is a hugely beautiful ingredient. So check it out. We're on a mission.
Yes, and I think that makes all the difference, right? When you are committed to beyond just building a business, it's more like committed to a greater good or a bigger impact in the world. I think your commitment level is different, correct?
100%. I mean, I was always purpose driven in my businesses, but when I was young, I was really looking to get some, right?
Right. Yes.
It was about me getting some. I want mine.
We need some.
It's all about me. Get me some. And now, now that I've gotten some, it's about giving some, right? It's about how do I give back? How do I make a difference? How do I use, everything I've learned and all my resources for the greater good? Otherwise, what's the point, right?
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, even in my own business, and as I'm transitioning and transforming into a business consultant, I started one place and then I started the business as a CPA firm, and I still have clients that I'm serving. But then another mission arose for me, which was literally to help other CPAs kind of get out of their shell and help them out with marketing, sales, and other business strategies that sometimes I've noticed they either have to merge together to be able to grow big, or that one person stays one person until it's time to retire. So I mean, there's just for me it became a mission and to create Profit Lab. And so I realize in myself how much I've changed since, let's say, 2018, starting as a consultant, and now it's like I'm on a mission. I'm hounding people. I'm trying to get to speak to other CPAs and opportunities. So so I kind of understand when that shift happens, and then you're more like driven by the mission. So because that's something that majority that I see entrepreneurs, we all start somewhere because we need some money. We got to pay the bills, and then but eventually, when you're committed to a bigger picture, you're willing to take all of the life's punches, right? Like what you said, are you committed? Are you committed? That is it. You get punched in every angle, and then
you're going to be tested.
Yes, you have to be completely.
Well, congratulations. I think purpose-driven companies outperform others all the time, because we talk a lot about culture. We talk a lot about having great talents in our organization, extraordinary people to do extraordinary things. But without purpose, you can't get there. You don't have a culture. You don't have a soul. You don't have extraordinary people that want to be part of your mission.
Right. And that's something I would imagine that in your current business, that is how a lot of the attraction is for your employees. They believe in what you're doing. They believe in the non-toxic lifestyle, and they're it's a different kind of a work environment for them when they're on board, because they believe that they're selling.
We've done, I think one of the, we're not good at everything, but one thing we were really good at The Art of Shaving was to create an incredible culture a lot of my a lot of my employees are still friends.
Yeah.
We're all in touch. They all want to come and work for us again. It was like a huge, big family, and
Hmm.
the culture. I only hired people that were giddy about the job. Like, this is my dream job. If I heard this is my dream job, I mean, you could be like the least capable person in the world. You got it. You got the job. I don't care about your skill sets. You got me.
Because skills can be taught, right? But that passion, that drive cannot be taught.
I wanted owners. I wanted people that really owned it, that love it, that wanted to do nothing but this. And this
Yes.
is ingredients is like 2.0, in that sense, because we're really on a mission. We're writing a book about wellness right now, and
Amazing.
we only hire people that live the ingredients lifestyle, right? It's our core value.
Yes.
You have to be into that mode of pursuing natural living as an individual to work with us.
Yes, absolutely. And this is so timely because I personally had to go through health changes. I thought I was healthy, eating healthy, and all that stuff, and but then I had to go through my journey, and then I learned through that
Yeah,
journey how much basically junk and undigestible items are in our food, and the chemicals and stuff. And then
yeah,
you try not to eat those. Obviously, it's so expensive, but then again, you put it in your body. You have, for me, it was digestive problems, other issues. So
sure.
imagine we're ingesting these, we're smelling them, and then on top of that, you put it in your skin, which is the biggest organ in your body, and
That's
we are
right.
literally killing ourselves, and we
That's
don't
right.
realize.
That's what
So
my book is about. It's all these blind spots. I
yeah,
meet people. I meet people that are like eating organic, exercising, but they're having toxic in their
yeah,
life coming from areas they're not aware of.
absolutely.
So it's about creating a bit of a bubble in a good sense,
Yes,
because you can't heal until you stop the poison, right? You
right.
have to stop the poison, and then you can start. The human body is a healing machine. Once you leave it alone, it just operates optimally, right? It's like you
Yes.
damage it, like eat,
Yeah.
slather it, smell it. There's only three ways to get into our bodies: it's through the skin,
Hmm.
the nose, or the mouth. So you ingest it, you inhale it, or
Yes.
you apply it to your skin. And there's blind spots everywhere. When we moved into our home in Miami Beach, you were here once.
Yes.
Uh, we got sick for a year. We were all sick. My wife went to the hospital with a pneumonia. She's never
Wow.
sick. We're like, and then we figured out it was the house, and we discovered the toxicity in our attic and our air conditioning. We have to redo
Oh
everything. We have to
goodness.
clean up everything. And 10 years after, we never had those symptoms again. Whereas
Right.
a lot of people that are unaware are going to go down,
Yes.
a very bad cycle of degrading health for reasons they can't connect.
Right.
People don't connect the dots with lipstick you've been wearing for 20 years, and issues you're having in your 40s and 50s or 60s. So, and the doctor is not going to link those at
I was
all.
just gonna say
They're
they're
going
gonna
to give you
be
pills made
yeah.
out of petrochemicals. Let's add a little of that. A fight fire with fire.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like you read my
And
mind. I was just thinking exactly that. And then you go to the doctor, they're not going to connect the dots. They're just going to give you another medication. And here you are, another pile of medications. The amount of medications people are taking nowadays is just really crazy.
and
And
you
yeah,
you and I come from countries like Lebanon and Morocco. It's very healthy. I
yes,
mean, you can be very unhealthy, but I mean, at the core, the Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest diets in the world. We're drinking
right.
olive oil.
Yes,
We're eating high quality meats and grilled, and there's not all the chemicals that you find in America. They don't even talk about organic because they don't
right. This,
spray anything. It's like it's irrelevant.
right.
Um, so for me, as soon as I moved to Montreal, I mean, I was super healthy until the age of 10. By 12
Mm,
years old, I started having like migraines and indigestions and the doctors didn't know what I had. They gave me petrochemical pills to help. Uh, and it really served me well to be sick at a young age, because it made me want to find out what was wrong, and
Right.
natural health was the remedy, and it became my life's purpose and passion.
Yes. That's yeah, that is exactly what I feel like happened with the last year, where I had to really focus on me and why I was getting so sick, because no one would be able to tell me. And since changing the way I eat, whatever, I don't have to need any medications. And something you mentioned is the migraine. I used to have migraines. I'll be taking it. I don't know how many coffees I had to drink, how many, Advils I should take just to kind of get the pain to go away. And, lo and behold, I stopped eating certain things. My digestive system is good. I don't have headaches.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God. I just,
I discovered 4 years ago that my migraines were coming from eggs,
wow, interesting.
and I stopped
Yeah.
eating anything with eggs, and the migraines went away almost one day to the next. The only time I've experienced them in the last 4 years is when I inadvertently ate
Right.
eggs in a restaurant after they told me probably that it wasn't in it.
Right.
So it could be something that most people are not poisoned by.
Right.
We're all made differently, and listen, I'd love to talk to you about this offline. I'm writing a whole
Yes.
book about wellness 360, and
I love it.
this is my favorite
I
subject.
love
I've
it.
been studying it for 30 years.
I love it. That would be great. And then any plans on when the book would be ready, or is there like a wait list or something we can tell the audience, or not yet? Not
No,
yet.
we're gonna give away a lot of books. You don't have to buy it, but
Awesome. So maybe they can
yeah,
sign up on the
we're
website to.
hoping we're
Yeah.
hoping by 2020, early 23. But when it comes to books and products, it's about quality. It's not, it's
Yes.
not about when, it's about how, what and how, and making it
Absolutely.
really, really valuable. And we're almost there, but it's time consuming, and we have distractions, kids,
Of
businesses,
course.
and life, travels. So it's like we're not spending as much time as we should, but we are hoping to have it published early 23.
That's awesome. Well, I would recommend our viewers and our audience to get on the website, maybe subscribe to a newsletter or the way to stay
Yes.
in contact, and that way, as once it's ready, they'll be the first to know that it's ready, and I can get access to that book
Well,
with amazing information.
I'll announce it here that anybody on our mailing list on our website, ingredientswellness.com, is going to get a free copy in the mail when it's published.
Woohoo!
So here you go.
Here you go. Your free giveaways, guys. Go ahead, sign up. Make sure so you are on that list, so you'll be able to get the book. Thank you so much, Eric, for sharing your
My
story with us
pleasure.
today. Any other last minute thoughts before we wrap up the show?
No, thanks for inviting me. I mean, I love what you're doing, and it was really fun talking to you, and keep in touch.
I sure will. I sure will. All right, great, Eric. Congratulations again for starting the second phase of your life and your business, and delivering excellence to your clients. And to all our viewers and our listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. Please remember to subscribe, follow, like, and share the videos on whichever channel that you are watching us on. And that way we can make sure to empower each other through our experiences. Until the next episode, have a wonderful and blessed rest of your week.
Thank you. All set?